man, don't pull nothing trying to do that no more.
She said that she wasn't sure what you were going to do, but that was her request to you. Whenever they
Okay, we ready? We ready, right? Patty? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Griffin,
Here.
Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moorer, Polensik, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Would everyone please rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I make the following statement. This meeting of Cleveland City Council is a lawful meeting. Under Section 605.04 of the Codified Ordinances, no person with purpose to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting shall do any act which obstructs or interferes with the due conduct of such meeting. Members of the public are invited to speak only under the rules set by this council. Disruptions, including but not limited to speaking out of turn and making loud noises and loud utterances, are in violation of the rules and interfere with the due conduct of this lawful meeting. Such disruptions may constitute a misdemeanor and a violation of Section 605.04. Anyone who disrupts this lawful meeting in violation of the codified ordinances commits misdemeanors and is subject to prosecution. The following is the first and only warning. If this meeting is disrupted, I will gavel a halt to the proceedings and direct the assembled officers to escort any person participating in the disruption out of the chamber. Once persons participating in the disruption are outside of the chambers, the officers will close the doors and the disruptors will be handled as directed by the Director of Public Safety. The council proceedings will not begin again until those that participated in the disruption have left the chamber and the chamber doors are closed. Disruptors will not be allowed back in the chamber after the meeting resumes. Again, this is the first and only warning. Madam Clerk, please dispense with the journal.
By Councilmember Santana, that the reading of the minutes of the last meeting be dispensed with the journal approved, seconded by Councilmember Moorer.
Thank you. We will now move to public comment. I'd ask all of the speakers to acknowledge your time. We do have a full docket, so once again, you have 3 minutes. When you see the yellow light, that means wrap it up, and when you see the red light comes on, that means you abruptly have to stop, and I will call the meeting to order. I will ask all the council members to turn around and acknowledge the speakers, and all of the speakers, please acknowledge your time. First and foremost, we have Tien Lun John from Cleveland, the Chinese Communist Party's Transnation Repression, representing Ohio Fulan Dafa Association, and not being paid by anyone. You have the floor, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There it is.
Oh, sorry.
Please speak into the mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the mic is good. You just need to speak into it.
Yeah, I'm very glad to have this opportunity to speak about the Chinese Communist Party's repression on in the United States. I'm a U.S. citizen. I think I'm responsible to tell the truth about CCP's aggression on this land. Well, I have made a list of areas where they do this, how they did that. Joanne has the list, and tomorrow she will distribute to the council members. I cannot list one by one, there will time limit. Well, I'm a Falun Gong practitioner following 3 words: truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance. But because of this belief, millions of Falun Gong practitioners have been persecuted for the last 26 years. And this has extended to outside of China. A concrete example is a Falun Gong practitioner, Chen Huimin. He escaped from the organ harvesting. When he was in China, he was operated and his partial liver and kidney was removed. And then on the second operation, he managed to escape the operation, and helped by the Undersecretary of the State Department, he escaped and came to US. However, in US, frequently has been watched, followed, and car slashed, and ran into his house, so he do not feel safe. And actually in Ohio, OSU, the cars of Falun Gong practitioners, simply because 3 words, truthfulness, benevolence, and forbearance, then the car was slashed. The CCP is promoting the hatred around the world against Falun Gong, against Zheng Yun, and against US, against democracy. Yeah, and in the, under the propaganda, they paid about $7 billion each year on US
Sir, that's your
media and Chinese media.
That's your time, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Michelle Hicks. Michelle Hicks is from Garfield Heights. Michelle Hicks is here to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Michelle Hicks is not representing anyone and not being paid by anyone. Ms. Hicks, you have the phone. You have the floor.
Okay. After America witnessed the very public death of George Floyd in 2020, both private and public sector organizations sought to establish various DEI initiatives and commitments to further advance racial and gender equity. That same year, the city of Cleveland was labeled the worst place in America for Black women to live by Bloomberg City Lab. Congruently, in 2020, City Council passed the resolution 296-2020 declaring racism to be a public health crisis. The resolution not only asserts that racism acts on systemic, institutional, and interpersonal levels, but it also states that Council supports the establishment of working groups that would promote racially equitable hiring and promotion of all employees, including city employees. However, today, 5 years after the passage of the resolution and the implementation of various working groups and commissions, the City of Cleveland remains the worst place in America for Black women to live. According to Project Noir's findings, DEI hire is often used as a coded slur for Black women. The label deliberately reduces Black women to mere tokens of diversity, suggesting that Black women are hired into their positions based on factors other than their qualifications. Yet 71% of Project Noir's respondents were passed over for a job promotion, and 79% of respondents were paid less than others in similar positions. In a 2025 article, Natalie Washington writes, "This wage gap isn't just about money. It's about being asked to do more with less. It's about dignity, about knowing you're being undervalued the moment you walk through the door. It's about watching your white colleagues get promoted faster, praised louder, and paid more while you're told to be grateful just to be in the room." In closing, diversity means nothing without equity and inclusion. DEI should be likened to a front organization if there are no actionable consequences in place to mitigate harm, exclusion, and bias. And lastly, I want to quote some song lyrics from Solange. It's from her A Seat at the Table album. But you know that a king is only a man. With flesh and bones, he bleeds just like you do. He said, where does that leave you? And do you belong? I do, I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Crystal Sierra. Crystal Sierra is from Slavic Village. She's here to talk about the Harvard refuse, and she's representing Slavic Village CDC and not being paid by anyone. Crystal, you have the floor.
Good evening, council members and Mayor Bibb. My name is Crystal Sierra, and I'm the planning director for Slavic Village Development. I would like to take this time to express our frustration with the status of a proposed project to build solar panels on the Harvard refuse landfill, which sits beside Slavic Village residents' homes and has been a blight on the community for decades. This landfill was opened in 1949 and operated until the late 1980s, and over the years has had issues with leachate running into Mill Creek, slope stability issues, and methane migration requiring EPA and court intervention. After being placed into receivership due to mismanagement and the bankruptcy of its owner in 2009, the site has been neglected. Additionally, a concrete wrecking company has been allowed to operate for years, despite ongoing complaints by residents about the huge piles of dirt that are unmanaged and towering over residents' homes. There has been nothing positive to come from this site and no proposals on how to address all of the issues. However, in 2024, Cuyahoga County and the City of Cleveland, City of Paynesville received $129 million in federal grant money through a climate pollution reduction grant. As part of the grant, the county and city proposed a solar project on the Harvard landfill together, which would not only bring cheaper, cleaner energy to Cleveland Public Power customers, but help to remedy some of the environmental and health hazards caused by the landfill by taking it out of receivership to be owned by a responsible entity. The solar project was a welcome proposal since it would force the wrecking company to remove these piles and, for the first time in decades, to bring a positive and beneficial use to the site. Unfortunately for Slavic Village residents, the project is now in jeopardy. Because the energy generated from the solar field would have to interconnect through Cleveland Public Power, the project heavily relies on CPP's cooperation. 2 weeks ago, we learned that CPP Commissioner Amon Danielson announced that Cleveland Public Power is pulling out of the project. Commissioner Danielson gave 3 reasons for this sudden departure. 1, engineering costs. 2, land concerns. And 3, grant concerns related to the agreement between the county and the city. At no point in the last 8 to 9 months has CPP raised these issues, so this announcement was abrupt, unexpected, and upsetting. Commissioner Danielson's reasoning is confusing as the interconnection cost is factored into the grant. CEP Renewables would manage the land, and the other parties all have been striving to move this forward, as well as other projects supported by the grant funds. It's not that often that a community is gifted $15 million to turn a blighted property into something positive. Cleveland can't claim to be a pillar of clean energy and sustainability while destroying this project. And while you, Mayor Bibb, were at Climate Week in New York City advocating for grant money for residential solar panels, your administration simultaneously has allowed this project to fall apart.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have Austria Everson. Austria Everson is with Buckeye Woodhill. The topic is love. She represents the Love Project movement, and she is not being paid by anyone. Austria, you have the floor.
Thank you. Peace and love, everyone. I am President Austria with New Era Cleveland, the Love Project movement, and I really wanted to focus in on love. Our organization, we focus in on going in hard target areas with crime, and we go in the middle of the night. And so this past week, we got to experience a lot. On the 130th, since Justin Bibb were closing down gas stations, that 130th gas station in Buckeye has been a constant nuisance. We've lost plenty of people's loss of life, multiple shootings there. There's human trafficking, there's drug trafficking, everything that you can think of. And most of the people that are being trafficked there are young girls and boys, right? The age between 12 and 17, because there are very limited resources for us to be able to refer them to if it is not CPS, like going through the system of group home, or Belfair, which only has a 30-day crisis care, and that's about it, especially if they don't want to go back home. So it leaves them very vulnerable to this environment. On top of that, we have a park right across from our clubhouse on 117th. Throughout this week, we have seen people utilize drugs, strip off their clothes, start peeing in the bushes, having sex in the park, all sorts of things, and there is no response from police. There's no response from the council person. However, when we throw a community party where we're bringing love and life back into the community, we get all this extra energy because we didn't check in. I want to make it very clear. New Era Cleveland don't check in. We are the people. The people don't check in. Every single property that is signed by the city of Cleveland is owned by the residents. No matter if you live in Cleveland, no matter if you live in South Euclid, wherever, every single one of us contribute to these communities. And I would like to know, why do y'all not put the same energy and effort that y'all put in creating barriers and creating dysfunction between us two, but we don't put that same energy in the things that are killing our communities? I'm not sure how many of y'all walk up and down Buckeye every day, but we do regularly. And it is devastating what the conditions of our people are. I would like to know, what are we going to do? Not just New Era, not just y'all, but we. How are we going to utilize the resources and the executive power that y'all utilize when it's beneficial at the flats, but we don't utilize this same executive power in our communities when people are asking for these stores to be closed down? No, instead, we give them more gas stations, like Race Fuel on Lee, Miles, and Harvard, or Miles and Harvard. I don't know how many people have lost their lives at those gas stations, but we continue to give them more. Why? So I would just like to know, when can we start working together? Because most of y'all know that we are very good at what we do, very good at what we do, but we continue to get blocked, continue to get blocked, continue to get blocked. Thank God our justice system worked. We were found not guilty on all 15 counts, and we are not a criminal organization, no matter what someone wants to say about us. But we are not criminals. We are people who love our people and are willing to go the mile for them. Peace and love, y'all.
Next, we have Chairman Fahim to talk about Buckeye Woodhill, and his topic is Drapetomania, and he's with New Era Cleveland, not being paid by anyone.
Yep. Good evening, Council. How y'all doing today? Good evening, Justin. How are you, sir? Yeah, Drapetomania is a mental health condition that slaveholders would put on enslaved people that refuse to be enslaved, to really just diagnose them with a mental health condition, because liberation was the key focus by any means necessary. So this past August, we were found not guilty on 15 charges that stem from the boycott of a gas station and chasing a drug dealer out of our neighborhood that was selling dope to a 13-year-old kid. 15 counts. I had 9 felony charges with gun specs attached to them. The amount of time that I was looking at was immeasurable, and it's insane. We found 8 missing children that were being human trafficked on the southeast side of Cleveland with no police support, with no help from anyone from the administration, nor were we looking or asking for it, right? So we have a serious problem here in the city of Cleveland where community leaders, activists are being targeted, and this is historic, this has happened throughout the history of this country, are being intentionally targeted, right, for freedom of speech and the right to bear arms and the right to control the conditions of our community where kids are being slaughtered. Like Quinn just said, every day we're seeing children being human trafficked, young girls in our communities. And there's this false notion that the only people that can do something about it is the police. By the time I call 911, 4 hours later, no telling where that little girl gonna be at. So we have to hold ourselves accountable, members of the community. We have an active role to play when it comes to creating stability, a safe environment within our communities. That's not just the job of council, that's not just the job of the police department. Now, over the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be down here every Monday making public comment, right? And we're gonna dive into our case. We're gonna bring that to the forefront, because I don't wanna wait until we're on a national or international platform and you guys, colleagues from around the country, are reaching out to say, hey, what's going on in Cleveland? Did y'all hear about this case? I'm gonna tell it to you right here, right now. And so many people have been implicated in this thing, the use of police informants to try to criminalize our work. It is so pathetic. We had a detective from the 4th District that allowed surveillance footage, 3 hours of surveillance footage just vanished from this gas station incident. Had we not been wearing body cameras, had we not been live streaming this incident, it would have been our word versus theirs. We're talking about the police department. 9 to 10 police officers were brought in to testify against us. 9 to 10 police officers brought in to testify against an organization that many of these patrol officers support. I'm talking about the men and women that work every day in these violent communities that see us and say, thank you. Hey, we got an issue over here. Please go address it. You guys have a report with these guys occupying this space. Please go address them. And so my issue, I want to be clear, I am not anti-police. I'm pro-justice.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Dale Snyder. Dale Snyder Jr. is from Shaker Heights. He's here to talk about recidivism, and he's with representing Road Gold, Inc., and he's not being paid by anyone. Mr. Snyder.
Yes, thank you. How you doing, Council President, Mayor? I'm going to continue off where I started out Monday, speaking about recidivism, but more importantly about community. When I look at what community is really a tapestry of all the souls and individuals that stay in a certain place. And they share a common goal, and that common goal is really what's basic to us all. You know, we want to put food on the table, take care of our kids, have safe environments, have occupations. There's a lot of isms in this world that pull at the tapestry of community. There's racism, there's classism, there's all of that. But the biggest is putting profit over purity. When people don't have opportunities, when people are limited, when people feel backed into a corner, then it puts them in a position to do things that, again, pull at the fabric of community. My grandfather always said this to me, and it took me years to understand this. He said, listen, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Now, of course, I didn't understand what that meant. I grew up in the 90s. I don't know what that is, but I understand it now. We need preventative measures within our communities to fight crime. Salute to that organization. I'm not familiar with you, but from what I hear, I support it all. I'll come with preventative measures in one aspect of community, and that's back to recidivism. And that's creating opportunity. I believe economic advancement is the key. The Bible says, for those that believe in it or not, no disrespect to no one's belief, money solves a multitude of problems. You get some money in the hands of some of these people, you can prevent some of the crime waves that's going in our communities. Without that money, you've just got a bunch of people in survival mode by any means. And you back anybody with a family, what do you expect? Again, I'm with Road Gold, Inc. I look to work with you guys. I've reached out to some people, and I'm going to continue to reach out with my plan, not just with talk, with lived experience. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have David Hill. David Hill is from Ward 4. He's here to talk about the shootings that have happened in the flats. He's not representing anyone and not being paid by anyone. David, you have the floor.
Good evening, City Council, Council President Griffin, Mayor Bibb. Immediately after the tragic shooting in the flats, Play Bar and Grill was wrongfully blamed, and according to our mayor, was the bar involved with the shooting. Recent text messages that were released from our mayor, Justin Bibb, on that day of the shooting state, and I quote, "Use every department to shut this place down. If we get sued, we get sued." Not only did he shut Play down, he boarded the place up and publicly humiliated us. I don't know the personal vendetta that the mayor has with us, but I do remember this. When the mayor was campaigning for his seat, he had a quote saying, "In order to have public safety, we must have accountability." It has now been 1 month since that shooting, and in this month-long time span, that shooting has not been tied to Play in any shape, form, or fashion. It has been 1 month since that shooting, and not one of the flat-out lies that have been conjured to the nuisance history of Play has had a police report, incident report, or any proof that these allegations ever even happened. Just 2 weeks ago, there was another shooting in the Flats, right outside of Punch Bowl Social, in the exact same location as the shooting that took place on September 7th. This time, tragically, someone was murdered. And when this happened, there was no statement from the mayor. There was no statement from the chief of police. There was no boarding up of any establishment. I guess the administration ran out of scapegoats. At some point, this administration has to take accountability for the public safety of the city of Cleveland and not rely on taxpayer dollars to clean up their messes. But then again, I guess if you get sued, you get sued.
Thank you. Next, we have Juan Collado Diaz from Ward 11. He's here to talk about Hispanic Heritage Month. He's representing Inquisidor Media and not being paid by anyone. Juan, you have the floor.
Good evening, Council President. I just want to really quick, before I go in with my address, for someone who's an adult and a mayor of Cleveland, you maybe shouldn't be laughing when people speak. It's kind of rude and it should be common adult sense. Now, going back to Hispanic Heritage Month, I wish I could say Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, but it's the last thing I can say because it hasn't been any happy for my people and the Hispanic people in the United States. We are a #1 target of the federal government every day. Just speaking Spanish in this society can get you arrested, and the Supreme Court passed a ordinance or a law, whatever you want to call it, then now you can be sent to a prison in El Salvador just for looking brown or even just acting Hispanic. And what is that? So in the United States, since the Nixon administration, we have to figure out that Latinos are the scapegoat or the punching bag for people every time there's a problem. And it sounds really close to what happened in Nazi Germany during World War II, where they figured out one group attacked it and got rid of it, because that's what they wanted to do. Slowly in the United States, we are seeing the same exact problem, but instead of the Jewish people, it is the Latino and Hispanic people. Our people come to this country and has contributed a lot, but instead of getting treated fairly, we get treated like crap every day. And it's not by the local government, but by the federal government. And I wanted to bring that to the attention of the people of Cleveland, because when we see this, we also go back to times of slavery. Hispanics people were also slaves, and we were thrown in the same boat. And that's why one of the biggest things that we share is that relation with our black community. And we are still marginalized every day. And I want to ask Council to pass an ordinance and share publicly and make Cleveland a sanctuary city for my people that deserve it and do a lot for the community. I also wanted to share the design that my friend Ben made for Cleveland, which is the Cleveland flag for Hispanic Heritage Month. And I don't have a larger image, but we changed the motto instead of Progress and Prosperity to the Spanish version, which says Progreso and Prosperidad. And that means progress and prosperity. Our city and our country has been made by progress and prosperity. And as someone said earlier, to keep our DEI in diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's the best way for us to maintain our city and to keep our people here. Remember that Latinos and Hispanic have contributed so much to the United States every day, and you see it here in Council, as we have our Councilwoman Jasmine Santana here, has been the first Latina ever to hold a position in City Council, and we have seen it all across the nation. I, again, ask our council to pass an ordinance, make Cleveland a public sanctuary city, and make our people welcome here. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. Next, we have Angela Davis. Angela Davis is from Ward 3. She's here to talk about the illegal towing of her car. She's not representing anyone, not being paid by anyone. Ms. Davis, you have the floor.
I was not going to be talking about the towing of my car. It says CMSD.
CMSD, you got the floor.
So this is for Mr. Mayor. I'm kind of confused because if you're going to do a state of the school address, don't you think it would be best to schedule it when the students aren't in school and the parents aren't at work so that they can sit there and listen to the school system that's educating their children? It made no sense for you to have a state of the school address at the City Club during work hours, when most parents can't afford a ticket to the City Club. The children are at school, and nobody is there but you, your CEO, and y'all and the people that you all are getting money from. Dude, what you doing? What you doing? And you can ignore me, but you ain't gonna ignore me when I go in that voting booth and vote against you.
Thank you. Next, we have Bridget Smith-Jackson. Bridget Smith-Jackson is from East Cleveland. She's here to talk about the Rainbow Terrace explosion. She's not representing anyone and not being paid by anyone. Ms. Jackson, you have the floor.
Good evening. A week ago, I stood before you and spoke about the tragedy that struck on June 23rd at Rainbow Terrace Apartments, an explosion that took the life of Mr. Cordell Sheffield, hospitalized 2 children, and displaced over 44 families and 150 residents. But tonight, I stand to remind you that this tragedy was not unforeseen and not without warning. Every major department in this city, building and housing, the Department of Health, the Health Department, the Mayor's Office, the Council body, and even HUD was made aware of the ongoing dangers and conditions at Rainbow Terrace long before this explosion. In fact, if you do a simple Google search, you'll find multitude examples of documented negligence dating back less than a year. Residents crying out for help, violations reported, inspections missed, and promises made but never kept. This was not an isolated oversight. It was a pattern of inaction. When families said their walls smelled like gas, when pipes corroded and ceilings collapsed, when children got sick and management ignored them, it wasn't because no one knew, it was because no one acted. So tonight, I ask this body again, what are we doing differently now? Because the reality is this, these families are still scattered, displaced, and traumatized. Many are still waiting for permanent housing, still waiting for answers, still waiting for accountability. Children are still dealing with fear and instability, while parents juggle jobs, displacement, and grief. And yet the site of the explosion where a man lost his life is still surrounded by uncertainty and no full public report. No detailed testing shared and no clear plan for the 400+ families still living there. This is not just about Rainbow Terrace. This is a Cleveland housing issue, a moral crisis rooted in neglect and inequity. Too many in our city live in deteriorating housing owned by out-of-state landlords and managed by companies who view residents as numbers, not neighbors. They profit while families suffer in silence. So my request tonight is simple but urgent. Provide a full, transparent update on the Rainbow Terrace explosion investigation, Mr. Mayor. Share proof of comprehensive site testing, air, soil, gas line, structure integrity. Establish a citywide emergency response plan that prevents this kind of neglect from ever happening again, and hold accountable those who were informed and failed to act. Cleveland cannot afford selective urgency. When it's an industrial site, we get immediate answers. When it's a housing complex filled with families and children, we get silence. Cordell Sheffield deserved better. The families deserve better. Cleveland deserved better. If this were your family, your child, your neighborhood, would silence be acceptable? Cleveland deserves better. To truly honor Cordell Sheffield and the family still fighting to rebuild, Cleveland must not just respond, it must reform. If this body is serious about public service, then it cannot look away from the families of Rainbow Terrace or from the thousands of others living in the same conditions, praying it doesn't happen to them next. Their suffering demands more than compassion, it demands commitment, accountability, and action.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please share communications. We do have a swearing in.
This is the letter of resignation for Carrie McCormack. Dear Clerk Britt, please accept this letter as my resignation from Cleveland City Council. My resignation will be effective at the end of the workday on October 3rd, 2025. It has been an honor to serve on Cleveland City Council. Thank you, Carrie McCormack, Cleveland City Councilman, Ward 3.
I do want to acknowledge that Mr. McCormick is here. Once again, we know we gave you your flowers a couple of weeks ago, but let's give him another round of applause if we could. Thank you so much for your service, sir. All right. I now declare that there is a vacancy in Ward 3 on October 6, 2025, and call for nominations from the floor. The chair will acknowledge Councilmember Jasmine Santana.
Hello. Thank you, Council President. I nominate Lauren R. Welsh for Ward 3 Council Member.
Thank you. Councilman Conwell.
I second the nomination.
Thank you. I'm going to ask if Councilman Harsh can close nominations. Thank you. I announce that without objection, the nominations are closed. Council President, as a Council President, I will now acknowledge members to state the name of the candidate when responding to roll calls. Once again, you have to announce the candidate's entire name. Okay? And let's begin.
Griffin.
Lauren Welch.
Lauren R.
Lauren R. Welch. Lauren R. Welch. Let me make sure I get it right. Lauren R. Welch.
Bishop Conwell.
Lauren R. Welch.
Gray. Hairston. Harsh. House Jones. Joe Jones. Casey. Kelly. Moorer. Polensik. Santana. Slife. Spencer. Starr. 13 for Lauren R. Welch.
Thank you. So Lauren R. Welch has received 13 votes. She is now the councilperson for Ward 3. She has received a majority of vote of all council members and is the duly appointed council member of Ward 3 effective today, Monday, October 6, 2025. Council members Santana, Conwell, Slife, and Harsh, can we please escort Ms. Lauren Welch to the microphone for brief remarks? Which microphone, Pat? This one? And if any of her family would like to join her, does she have any family members here with her?
Yes.
Please, you want to come? If you want to come and take pictures with her, here she is. The floor is yours, council lady.
I think she's going to swear.
Oh, she's going to swear in? Is she swearing them in now?
Yes.
Okay. So who's doing it?
You have the oath.
Nah, I don't.
You have the oath.
Who has the oath?
You have the oath.
Did they give her the oath? You gave her the oath?
Her friend.
Yeah, that's what we're about to do now. So, here you go. Vikita, get us to whoever she wants to be to swear. Who does she want to swear you in? Oh. So raise your right hand, put your left hand on the Bible, and repeat after me. I say your full name.
Lauren R. Welch,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and the Charter of the City of Cleveland, and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of the office of Ward 3, member of council of the City of Cleveland, State of Ohio, during my continuance in said office. Welcome and congratulations. Could you put make sure the mic is on?
Thank you. Thank you. It is an extraordinary honor to stand here tonight entrusted with the responsibility to serve the people of Cleveland's Ward 3. I have long believed that the true measure of leadership isn't found in these titles or these offices, but it is found in our willingness to show up consistently and courageously for others. Whether you sit inside of City Hall or outside these walls, the work of service demands that we not only talk the talk, but we walk the walk. Every day across departments in this building, there are people who do some of the toughest and the most unseen work, repairing, responding, and showing up so that they can live and thrive and people can be proud of this place that we call home. To them, I want to say your quiet excellence matters, and you make this city function. You make it possible for others to dream. I know my time here is going to be brief, but brevity does not diminish purpose. As the first Black woman of Ward 3, my commitment is to use every moment to be a light, to listen with intention, to act with integrity, and to leave the door open a little wider for the next person who comes through here. To the homegrown kids of Cleveland, this moment is for you. I hope you are forever reminded to dream bigger and brighter, no matter what the obstacles or the odds are, and that you belong, and you're reminded that you belong in every room where decisions are being made. Your voice has power far beyond what you can see today. Cleveland has and deserves leaders who understand that progress is a shared project, that the work of equity, safety, and opportunity does not begin or end with one vote, one ordinance, or one term. It continues to live in the lives that we touch every single day and the examples that we set. I want to extend my sincerest gratitude to Council President Blaine Griffin for his leadership and trust, to Councilman Kerry McCormick for his confidence in me and for the years he has dedicated to Cleveland Ward 3, and to the council colleagues and to council staff who has welcomed me with grace and support. I also want to thank Mayor Justin Bibb and his team for their partnership and steady guidance during this transition. To my grandmother, I want to thank you for swearing me in this moment. It will live in my heart forever. To family and friends who stand with me tonight and every season, your love, your dedication, your partnership, and steady guidance has been with me for so long, and I want to thank you. Without you, this would not be possible. This appointment is a reminder that every chance to serve is also a chance to learn, to grow, and to give back. Cleveland's story is being written every single day in the small acts of courage, in the moments of hard truth and shared hope, and I'm proud to help write even a few lines of this story with you all. Thank you, and God bless the city of Cleveland.
Hey, Vakita, you gonna show her where to sit? Show her where she needs to sit. All right. Once again, welcome to Cleveland City Council, Councilwoman Lauren Welch. All right. Madam Clerk, we're going to start the regular council meeting back up. May you share communications?
Communications. File number 1276, 2025, from Councilmember McCormack, letter of resignation from Ward 3. File number 1277, 2025, oath of office and swearing in for Lauren R. Welch, Councilmember for Ward 3. File number 1275, 2025, from Mayor Justin M. Bibb, City of Cleveland, Mayor's nomination for members of City Planning Commission. Anthony Whitfield, City Planning Commission, new appointment, 6-year term ending October 10th, 2031. File number 1278, 2025, from Mayor Justin M. Bibb, City of Cleveland, Mayor's nomination for members of Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority. Chanel Smith Wiggum, Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority, new appointment, term ending March 2027. File number 1279, 2025, from Mayor Justin M. Bibb, City of Cleveland, Mayor's nomination for members of the Landmarks Commission. Michelle Anderson, Landmarks Commission, reappointment, term ending August 1st, 2029. Robert Strickland, Landmark Commission, reappointment, term ending August 1st, 2029. Raymond Tarasuk, Jr., Landmark Commission, reappointment, term ending August 1st, 2029. Julie Trott, Landmarks Commission, reappointment, term ending August 1st, 2029.
Thank you. Are there any condolence resolutions?
Resolutions of condolence by Councilmember Griffin for Mamie Carol Gaines.
Thank you. Are there any other condolences? Councilman Charles Slife.
Now? There we go.
Yeah.
Please hold the number for Robert Schwind. And Council President, did you already do one for Nasim Lynch?
For Nasim Lynch,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not yet, but please do it. I did do one for Nasim Lynch. Yeah, I do apologize, I did. Could we hold out a number for Miss Angela Edwards? Angela Edwards. Are there any other condolence resolutions? Any other condolence resolutions? Seeing no other condolence resolutions, will all members please rise for a moment of silence? Thank you. Madam Clerk, are there any congratulatory resolutions?
Resolutions of congratulations by Councilmember Griffin for Police Chief Clayton Harris on his retirement.
Thank you.
By Councilmember Starr for Danny Coach Boom Solomon. By Councilmember Conwell for the United States Postal Service on their 250th anniversary. Resolutions of recognition by Council members Griffin and Polensek for Italian-American Heritage honoree Anthony J. Constantine, CPA. By Council members Griffin and Polensek for the Italian-American Heritage honoree Joseph Sideri, Sideri Foods. By Council members Griffin and Polensek for the Italian-American Heritage honoree Phil Bova. By Council members Griffin and Polensek for the Italian-American Heritage honoree Mayor Matthew J. Castelli. By Council members Griffin and Polensek for Italian-American Heritage honoree Matteo Salvaggio, Little Italy Wines. By Councilmember Griffin for Family Violence Prevention Week. By Councilmember Griffin for City of Cleveland Division of EMS on their 50th anniversary. By Councilmember Slife for Franciscan Village dedication of Father Crajan Pavilion.
Thank you. Are there any presentations? I don't see any presentations and haven't been informed of any presentations. Therefore, Madam Clerk, please move the first reading emergency ordinances referred for administrative review and committee review.
Ordinance 1250, 2025, by Council members Polensek and Griffin by departmental request, to amend sections 405.01040608 and 10 of the codified ordinances as amended by various ordinances relating to impounding, storage, and towing, and to repeal section 405.09 as amended relating to impounding bicycles. Ordinance 1251, 2025, by Council members Slife and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to employ by contract or contracts one or more qualified insurance brokerage firms to provide brokerage and administrative services for a planned owner-controlled insurance program needed for the Terminal Modernization Development Program at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport for a period of 7 years. Ordinance 1252, 2025, by Council members Slife and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to employ one or more professional consultants for wayfinding services to assess, audit, and make recommendations to improve the ticketing lobby operations at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport for a period of 1 year with a 1-year option to renew, exercisable by the Director of Port Control. Ordinance 1253, 2025, by Council members Slife and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of labor and materials necessary for constructing, repairing, maintaining, removing, replacing, disposing, and installing concrete surfaces and structures on roadways, taxiways, runways, ramps, and other paved surfaces for the various divisions of the Department of Port Control for a period of 1 year with 3 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Port Control.
Thank you. First reading emergency ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 1254, 2025, by Councilmember House Jones, excuse me, authorizing the Director of Department of Public Health to enter into agreement with Motivated and Empowered, Inc. for the Bloom Nourish Project for the public purpose of providing a parent education, mental health services, and character-building programming through the use of Ward 7 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 1255, 2025, by Councilmember Spencer, authorizing the Director of Department of Community Development to enter into agreement with Cleveland Public Theater for the public purpose of cultural awareness and education by providing the 2025 Dia de Muertos Neighborhood Festival for the City of Cleveland residents through the use of Ward 15 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 1256, 2025, by Councilmember Conwell, authorizing the Director of Department of Parks and Recreation to enter into agreement with the Center for Arts-Inspired Learning for the Play It Forward Cleveland program for the public purpose of providing music education and character-building programs through the use of Ward 9 casino revenue funds.
Thank you. Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Santana, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember Moorer.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moorer, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr, Welch. 13 yeas.
Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr, Welch. 13 yeas.
Thank you. First reading emergency resolutions to be adopted.
Resolution 1257, 2025, by Councilmember Casey, withdrawing objection to the transfer of ownership of a C1 liquor permit at 3671 West 130th Street and repealing Resolution 610, 2025, objecting to said permit. Resolution 1258, 2025, by Councilmember Bishop, withdrawing objection to the new C2 liquor permit at 3879 East 123rd Street and repealing Resolution 253, 2025, objecting to said permit. Resolution 1262, 2025, by Councilmember Jones, objecting to a new C2 liquor permit at 16605 South Miles Road.
Thank you. Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Santana, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember Moorer.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr, Welch.
Call the roll
13.
on passage.
13 yeas.
I'm sorry, I'm moving too fast.
That's okay.
Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House Jones, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr, Welch. 13 yeas.
Thank you. Second reading emergency ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 820, 2025, as amended by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Finance to employ one or more professional consultants to study, assess, market, and sell corporate sponsorships for city facilities and assets. Ordinance 992, 2025, by Councilmembers Santana and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing Director of Human Resources to enter into one or more contracts with Pathfinder Solutions, LLC, to provide support for the city's comprehensive wellness and well-being programs for the Department of Human Resources for a period to run coterminously with the city's current employee health care contracts. Ordinance 1167, 2025, by Council Members Conwell and Griffin. An emergency ordinance authorizing Director of Public Health to accept a grant from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency for financial assistance for the operation of the Division of Air Quality, authorizing the Director to enter into one or more contracts for materials, services, equipment, and supplies, authorizing contracts with various agencies or entities, and for professional services, determining the method of constructing, rehabilitating, renovating, replacing, or otherwise improving air monitoring sites and other similar structures on city-owned and city-leased property, and authorizing the Director to enter into one or more contracts for the improvement. Ordinance 1174, 2025, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin by departmental request to change the name of a portion of East 159th Street to Euclid Beach Boulevard.
Thank you. Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Santana, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage, seconded by Councilmember Moore.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr, Welch. 13 yeas.
Thank you. Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr, Welch. 13 yeas.
Thank you. We'll move to introductions, and I will start by asking all of the members of ASME Local 100 if they could please stand. They're here to observe council meeting tonight. ASME 100. Let's give them a round of applause if we could. Thank you all for coming out today, and also thank you for the hard work that you guys do on a day-to-day basis. We know that you guys help make sure we keep this city running, so on behalf of Cleveland City Council, thank you all so much. All right, thank you. I also want to take a moment, if I could, to acknowledge a good friend of mine, businessman Danny Shadid, if Danny could stand up, and also Brian Gresham, if both of them could stand up, two business guys. Thank you. Are there any other introductions? Councilman Kevin Conway.
Thank you, Mr. President. Where is young Glenn at here in the audience? You'll see her in the office working with me and young Imani, and she's going to be a great, great addition in Cleveland City Hall. Thank you and welcome to City Hall.
Thank you. Councilwoman Deborah Gray.
Cafe, Kyrie, stand up. He has a cafe currently in Ward 4, which is going to be in Ward 1 in 2026. But please, his cafe, the food he serves is absolutely, delicious. So he's been a great supporter in the ward. He gives back. So please support his cafe. It's on East 139th and Kinsmer, and he just serves delicious food.
Are there any other introductions? Councilman Michael Polensek.
Well, Mr. Chairman, it's introduction / miscellaneous as well. I just want to, I too want to recognize ASME for all the hard work and what they do, fight every day for working men and women. So thank you very, very much. Mr. Chairman, I want to again congratulate our new colleague to Cleveland City Council, Lauren. I'll not forget that name, but I have a daughter named Lauren, so I'm going to remember that, and I can welcome you here. But also to our, I don't know if he left or not, to Kerry. I don't think we held out a number for him to congratulate Kerry McCormick on his years of service. I don't think we held out a number for him.
Let's make sure we do. I thought we did, but if we didn't.
I would respectfully ask that we do that. And Mr. Chairman, I want to just mention, I was going to recognize some of our Italian brothers and sisters, but they're down in the rotunda having a party with the pasta down there. So we're going to cut this short because I want to get down there. But I'd be remiss if I did not recognize this is Italian Heritage Day today at City Hall. And I want to thank you for co-sponsoring that event with myself. We have these wonderful flags, and I'm always reminded, as I said today at the program, when I walk into City Hall, the beautiful rotunda, which was put together, all that stone, those pillars, the stone carving by Italian immigrants. We're a city of immigrants, and we must never forget that. So again, I want to thank my Italian brothers and sisters. Part of my family is from Campo Paz, Italy. And again, I'm very thankful for their contribution to the city of Cleveland, and I want to again thank you for your help in how you represent Little Italy. That tells me a whole lot about your concern for my brothers and sisters. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, Councilman Polensek. Are there any other announcements? Any other announcements? You are all welcome to join the Italian-American community down in the Rotunda after council meeting. I will tell you that the food goes fast, so if you do want to eat, you better hurry up and get down there. Are there any other announcements? Any other announcements? Seeing no other announcements, is there any other miscellaneous? Any other miscellaneous? Councilman Christopher Harsh.
Okay. Mr. President, colleagues, I wanted to share something that happened. I try to be cognizant of the community I'm talking to here, but I want to share something that happened on Friday with everybody so that everybody knows what happened. Last Friday, which was October 3rd, at 11:16 in the morning, Idea Stream Radio hijacked the airwaves of WCSB. They hijacked them at 11:16 a.m., and at 11:35, almost 20 minutes later, President Laura Bloomberg met with students on a Zoom call for 13 minutes. And in 1/2 hour, 50 years of community, culture, and history in Cleveland was obliterated by Idea Stream Radio. They spent months planning behind the scenes to take over the signal without telling anyone. The station engineer had no idea this was happening. They orchestrated all of this. They didn't tell anybody. They locked the students out of the radio station, disconnected their key cards. They didn't have access to their own music collections or their personal effects inside the station. But the really big deal here is that, as the one gentleman said earlier, our community is a fabric of cultures. It is a diverse group of people that we bring together as a city, and I don't think anyone exemplified that diversity better than WCSB or the college radio community in Cleveland. Just for instance, every week they had radio shows dedicated to Hispanic, Hungarian, Slovenian, Polish, African, Asian, Arabic, and German musics. Just that community, put together by people from that community for their community. Not to mention all the other different genres of music. There was a reggae hour, there was a metal hour, there were a few of those. They had up to 98 different shows every single week, programmed by up to 98 volunteer student DJs who didn't get paid. They were volunteers who came in because they loved music. And I want to tell you about one of those shows. It's called Anti-Urban Contemporary Thing. It was hosted by Herb. Herb hosted this show for decades, and he used to have his show from 3 to 5 on Friday afternoons. And when I painted houses, I got the guys on my crew to all tune in to CSB on Friday afternoon and count down to the end of the week. And Herb did a 2-hour show, and his 2-hour show worked like this. He started at the beginning of recorded music, late 1800s, early 1900s, and played nothing but black artists. So he would start with gospel, hymn. He would move into blues. By about halfway through the show, he was into the jazz and rock of the 50s. The second hour would go through soul, funk, R&B. He'd end up with hip hop in the last half hour. And he curated the African-American experience every single week for 2 hours because he loves his community and he loves music. And Councilman Conwell knows there is no better way to know a people than through their music. And WCSB educated Clevelanders throughout the region on not just African-American music, but Slovenian and Polish and Hungarian, Czech. There was the German radio hour, not my favorite music, but the German people love it, and they had a place to tune into to get their fix. And they did this for people for free, at no charge. And the difference between streaming online and terrestrial radio is cost. Everybody has a radio. Grandma's got a radio. There's a radio in every single house in this town. You can just tune the dial and you might find that sound that changes your life. And it is no understatement to say that college radio pieced together a community that could not exist without it. And WCSB did that for 50 years, and IdeaStream ought to be absolutely ashamed of themselves. And I hope that we can hold them accountable. I've already canceled my membership. I know that other people have as well. We can demand that IdeaStream return programming to the student group. Cleveland State University retains the license for 89.3 FM. They hold the license for WRUW. They could turn programming back over to the students like that. It's simply a choice. There are a couple other things that I want to let you know that we can do. Oh, I'm sorry, I just want to give you a few more facts. If anyone thinks that WCSB was a financial strain on the college, they're wrong. The college spent, on average, $40,000 a year on this radio station. That's not even a full-time employee. The students raised about $40,000 to $50,000 a year in their radiothon and covered half their costs themselves through volunteer, student-run radiothons. So the station was not cost, the budget for CSU is about $140-some million a year, 146, 147 million. So to spend $40,000 on a radio station is not preventing any other programs from happening. It's not preventing any other athletics or anything else. There's going to be a silent protest tomorrow in the plaza between the Student Center and Rhodes Towers. That's going to be from 11:30 to 12:30. I encourage people to reach out to IdeaStream and let them know that this was a dumb idea, to let them know that we can cancel our memberships until they return this back. And I just want to emphasize one more time, what makes Cleveland a beautiful place is the amount of people that we can support in our community. Not just the mainstream, not just the normal folks, but those weird misfits that need their own island. Those people that don't belong anywhere else. Those people like me that tuned in the middle of the night and discovered grindcore. All right? We need a place to go. We need a home. And college radio gives us our home. It gives us a place to say, I belong. And it gives that place to thousands of people. And I don't think the people that run CSU, Dr. Laura Bloomberg, or the people that run IdeaStream understand how important this has been to the cultural fabric of Cleveland. So I just wanted to share that with you all so that you know what happened, and so that when this comes up while you're out and about, it doesn't surprise you. And to please help us lean in on IdeaStream to hand programming back over to the students. Lastly, IdeaStream thinks that culture is something you program, but the DJs at WCSB know that culture is something you create. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilman Michael Polensek.
Mr. Chairman, my honorable colleagues, honorable mayor, I'm not going to reiterate. Chris summed it up perfectly because I got the email before I came into the council meeting. But what Chris forgot or overlooked, they had the CSU police go in there and escort all of them out. I want to say that again. They had the CSU police escort all of them out. Now, I would respectfully ask you, Mr. Chairman, I would ask for you to call a meeting together with IdeaStream here at City Hall in the council offices. They need to, this is no way to operate. That's like the Gestapo going in there and marching them all out. And that's what they told me. They marched them all out like they were robbers and thieves, and they didn't do anything. That's the way they were treated. So I'll leave it up to you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I did just get notified of that this afternoon, too, so we'll figure it out. Councilwoman Stephanie House Jones.
Yes, well, good evening, everyone. Actually, just a note of goodness that happens in Cleveland. So this past Saturday, I was actually headed to a meeting. It was around 10 o'clock and I was running late, but I passed 30th and St. Clair Avenue, and I saw that it was a fence that was covered with all of these things that said the Wall of Love, and I didn't pay any attention to it. I'm like, whatever. And then on my way back home, it seems like everybody was wrapping up, and I was like, let me go and see what's going on, right? And so I had the pleasure of finding out that there is a group called Wall of Love who were working to set a Guinness Book of Record, a Guinness Book of World Record, to be able to collect the most socks in an hour. The current, with the previous number, I think it was around 2,500 or so. And that hour, the way Cleveland and Northeast Ohio showed up, they obliterated the record, and they actually collected over 17,000 pair of socks in 1 hour. And I just think, you know, just with all the negativity that is going on in the world, it just goes a long way to know that there are people in our community that care about others, that are looking at set records. I do have a message for you, Mr. Mayor, that we're gonna talk about regarding this situation. But I just think they, you know, it just deserves a round of applause, and hopefully it will get verified by the Guinness Book of World Records, and they'll have some other programming coming up. But again, just cheers to the Walls of Love, as we're getting into the winter months and understanding just the crisis and the pressures that can be on people. So congratulations.
All right, that looks to be all of miscellaneous. Madam Clerk, please excuse the absences.
By Council Member Santana, that the absence of Council Members Bishop, Jones, Spencer, and Starr are hereby excused. Seconded by Council Member Moorer.
All right, that concludes this council meeting. Council is adjourned to the call of the chair. The next meeting of council will be on next Monday, October the 13th.